Breaking news into our newsroom. Take a look at these powerful new images near the White House after a shooting left several businesses just riddled with bullet holes. You can see them on the screen there. The Secret Service says last night around 6 p.m., a gunman just started shooting at agents who were standing near a White House checkpoint. Now, those officers did return fire, killing the suspect, who was 21 years old. His name, Nazir Best. The terrifying moments that shots rang out were actually caught on camera by several reporters, including an ABC reporter. Her name is Selena Wang, and she was ducking for cover. Take a look at this.
That President Trump has said a deal is close, only for the two sides to remain far apart.
No. Absolutely terrifying. MS Now's Michael Schnell in Washington, D.C., near the scene of the shooting. Michael, what more are we learning about the suspect today?
Yeah, Britt, I'm actually right here in the center of Washington, D.C., right across the street from where the shooting took place on 17th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. And if you actually look over my left shoulder, you can see those bullet holes in some of the businesses here in downtown Washington. Those bullet holes right there in the establishment of the White House Press Shop, which is sort of a gift shop, and the White House Experience here in Washington. What we do know at this hour is that, according to U.S. Secret Service, as you mentioned, shortly after 6 p.m., an individual approached a Secret Service checkpoint right here. As he approached, he removed a weapon from his bag and started firing at officers. Officers at that point had returned fire, striking the subject, and he has died. A bystander was also shot, though it's unclear how. Our Mark Santia reporting last night that he was in serious condition and undergoing surgery. Again, unclear if it was Secret Service fire or the gunman's fire that hit that bystander. And we know a little bit more about the suspect this afternoon. It's 21-year-old Nazir Best, and according to our Carol Lenning and Mark Santia, Best had previous encounters with the U.S. Secret Service last summer and was ordered to stay away from the White House. Our colleagues are also reporting that he had a history of mental health issues. Now, Britt, an important detail to note as part of this story is the fact that President Trump was home at the White House at the time of the shooting. Again, I am right across the street from where this happened. The White House is just over my right shoulder. U.S. Secret Service did say that the president was not impacted, and very early this morning he wrote on Truth Social. I read to you part of that statement. The president said, quote, "Thank you to our great Secret Service and law enforcement for the swift and professional action taken this evening against a gunman near the White House who had a violent history and possible obsession with our country's most cherished structure." So, Britt, we're still waiting from law enforcement to hear more details of just exactly what went down last night. But just to give you some context here, I am, again, right across the street from where this happened in downtown Washington. You can see a number of tourists walking around amidst this area. It is the center of Washington, D.C. Tourists who come to visit the nation's capital really can't make their way through the city without coming by here to see the White House. This happened at just after 6 p.m. yesterday during, again, a holiday weekend when there could be increased foot traffic of tourists. So a really, really serious and scary situation of what went down last night. Again, right across the street from the White House when the president was there.
Yeah, it's just scary to think about how close this was to not only reporters, but as you mentioned, Michael, to, businesses as well. Thank you for that update this afternoon. I want to bring in Rob D'Amico into this conversation, MS Now security and intelligence analyst and former FBI supervisor. So, Rob, it just seems inexplicable at this point that we're talking about yet another shooting around the president near the White House. And, there's no way to predict that something that feels so random is going to happen. But what does the Secret Service do in this case to prevent incidents like this from reaching this point? And whatever it is that they're doing, is it really working?
Well, I think they're going to have to increase presence around there. And they have been in the short past because this is the third shooting around the White House in a month. It's the, 2 assassination attempts previous to the last one at the Hilton. So they obviously need to start doing some other things. Now, it is hard to predict the criminal behavior of people. I think this was more a mental health issue, but you put that with the increase in political violence. They have to start assuming that there's going to be more of these. And I think they have, structured checkpoints out there. I think they're going to need to start doing random checkpoints, just setting up a checkpoint so that people don't understand maybe where it's going to be. They're going to have to probably put more undercover officers and agents out there just walking around those areas incognito, looking at people's behavior to see if they can get some triggers that maybe something's about to happen. This one had prior incidents with the Secret Service. That's why they kind of follow up on these. He didn't show up for his hearing. There was a bench warrant on him. So what really led to this? What was the critical trigger? Not exactly sure. He said something about, I think, maybe something with the Iran deal, but I think that was more of just an excuse or something that put him at this time and place. But the Secret Service really has a challenging job, and they're low on people. And it's one of those tough things because they're guarding more people. And now the threat of violence is so increased that they're just really going to have to start taking some other things into consideration.
And just to add on to that list of sort of changes that the Secret Service can and perhaps will make, do you think limiting the president's public exposure is a part of that list? Would that help at all?
It would, but then they win. Like it's one of those things when you like do things that prevent terrorist attacks. Well, they're winning if they're changing your lifestyle, and I personally don't think President Trump is going to kowtow to some of those things, saying, "Hey, it's more secure." He's already survived several of these, and he's still out there. You just have to now take more factors into effect and make security tougher. I think I was very critical on Secret Service at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I thought that was horrible security. This is where it worked. This is where that wider perimeter, getting someone to have to go through a checkpoint earlier, and then showing that he had violent intent well in front of the White House. And I think they're going to have to do more of that. Like I said, random patrols, undercover officers to look out for this.
So certainly some changes are in fact to come. Rob D'Amico, thank you so much. Good to see you.